Hi, I'm Jamia, and this is my husband,
Cyrus.
Cyrus. So we want to share a little bit of our testimony together and how God put us together. So we met online on a Christian dating website. We did do online dating, and when we did meet, we courted for before we got married. So I'm gonna let my husband speak a little bit about it, 'cause I like how he says it and how he puts it together on how God moved through that website to put us together. I was living in Atlanta, Georgia, and I transitioned down here back to South Carolina, and I was only supposed to be here for like a month or so. I was not planning on staying here. I saw Cyrus's profile and I kind of prejudged it, I'll be honest, and just off of pictures, and I was just like, oh, I don't know, he may not be all the way saved or whatever. And so I kind of judged it until I read his profile and what he had to say, and it really changed my perspective of him. So much is enough to I sent him a wink. Now, there were some stipulations on our profile, and I'm gonna let Cyrus mention that to you. And I didn't realize this particular thing, and so after the fact that we started courting and getting really to know each other and things like that, and so I'll let him begin to talk about that thing. So, do you want to go ahead and talk?
Well,
You can go this way.
in regards to what she's talking about, that website that we used, you can set your different parameters for the people that you would be interested in, ages, and different things like that. It's been a while, so I can't remember exactly all of the parameters that were on that website, but I do know age was one of them. And my wife tells me time and time again that she had hers set to a specific age range that I do not fit into. So it was not supposed to show her my profile at all, but yet and still God made a way that she could see it anyway, and that's just one of the ways that God moves in certain situations to when he's trying to get two people together. There is nothing that anyone or anything can do to prevent it.
Right.
Because what God puts together, that they're together.
Mm-hmm.
So God had his hand in the situation, even though we didn't know anything about it. And but God knows what he was doing. But she was not supposed to see my profile, and she was yet able to see it anyway, because I'm younger compared to her. We're like 6 years apart in difference, and I know a lot of times people think age brings maturity, but not all the time that's the case. And just part of my testimony is I was raised by older folks. My mother and father didn't raise me. I was raised by my grandparents, and they were older, way up there in age. When they raised me, they were already in their 70s. So I mean, I had an old school mentality from being around older folks. I was around older folks all my life. So just because I was young in age doesn't mean I was young in character. So God really, made a way for me to mature at a very young age. But when my wife was looking for a potential suitor, she just, wanted to make sure that the person that she ended up with was mature, because nobody wants an immature spouse or anything like that. You want to be on the same page with somebody, not necessarily age-wise, but mentality-wise and character-wise. That way y'all could be on the same page in life and do the thing that God do the things in life that God would have you to do. Be able to minister to other people, other marriages, and different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes that better when two people have those things in common.
Yep.
But yeah, she wasn't supposed to see my profile. God made a way for she to see it anyway. She sent me a wink, and I responded to that wink, and she responded back, and we just kind of just started messaging each other, and that's kind of how things got kicked off, and we just started talking and learning about each other and different things, and found out what she really wanted out of this. Well, she was looking for a spouse, and we both were looking pretty much for the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We both have troubled past with relationships and different things of that nature. But a lot of times, God will put you with somebody that went through the same things that you went through,
Mm-hmm.
so you can help in the process of healing each other.
Yeah.
And so that God knew what he was doing, and he had his hand on the whole situation. I'm a divorcee, as well as my wife. We had a lot of things in common in regards to our past relationships. We had children,
Mm-hmm.
and we both were just trying to live a godly life, trying to move forward after our divorces, and just do the will of God for our lives. We're not perfect.
Mm-mm.
We don't have it all together. We don't have the blueprint. Well, I'll put it like this. We have the blueprint on what to do in order to move forward into a live a godly life, because that's the Bible.
Yeah.
But in regards to saying we have the experience that we've done it before, we don't have that, because this is our first time being in this situation.
Yeah.
So it's a learning process, and we're learning as we go along, and with the help of God and his word and reading the Bible, we are on our way
Amen.
to bigger and better things, and what God has for us in the future is going to be good. It's good now, and it gets better every day. You just have to hold on and pray and fight. We have our times, like every marriage does.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have those times where you don't see eye to eye. You're going to argue, you're going to fuss and cuss and fight, different things, and it just takes your relationship with God and prayer to get through those things. Just like every other marriage, you're going to have those things that come into play where the devil tries to cause strife in your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to hold on to God and to be able to get through that, because that's the one thing that the devil hates, and that's the union of two people joined together in God's name.
Yep.
Because he knows that's a battle that he can't win.
Exactly.
That's probably his biggest enemy, one of his biggest threats to for his kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
is the union of a man and a woman joined by God.
Right.
So he's going to fight against that. He's going to do everything in his power to prevent that.
Better believe it.
Divorce is the number one goal on his agenda for all godly marriages. So you have to keep that in consideration for everybody that sees this. If you're trying to get married, if you're not married yet, or if you're currently married, to know that God wants you together. God hates divorce, because it causes so much damage, and it's totally against the will of God for people's lives. And the devil knows that, and that's why he fights so hard to destroy it.
Yeah.
So just a pointer, to just fight for your marriage. If you're not married yet, don't rush it. You know, just lean on God, and God will have the right person for you when He would have you to meet them. You know, and just lean on God until He brings that person in your life, and just keep living for God. You know, and that's a big thing in regards to our marriage. If I can leave you with just this last thing, is just get saved if you're not saved, and if you are saved, serve God with all your heart, and it will be the best decision that you can ever make in your life. You know, I just want to leave that with you guys, and my wife, you want to say something, you know, and just wrap this up, you know, go for it.
Well, it's already almost at 30 minutes. I would just say be encouraged, and definitely you should, if you don't know Christ, get to know Him. There's no better time than the present. Don't put it off. Don't wait and say, "Oh, I'm not ready," or "It's not my time." If you're listening to this message right now, it's your time. Go ahead and get it done. It's a freeing experience, and so I encourage you to go ahead and do it. And if you are a believer, I encourage you, especially during this time right now, this quarantine, to draw closer to Him. That's what I've been doing during this quarantine, is drawing closer and getting into a deeper relationship with Christ. So that's what I'll leave you with. Just be encouraged. I'll share my testimony on another one. All right, bye.